Okay, without further ado, I think we can start now. Welcome, everybody. Hope everyone is well. And today's seminar webinar, what we'd like to talk about is on how to build your own brokerage, where to start, all the nitty-gritty things in the background on how we do things here at Quad Code in general. And without further ado, let's get into it. Let's dive into the whole solution for you that you're looking for. Just a little bit about background in general. So we've been in the market now for approximately almost 13 years in general. And in 2024, we have launched over approximately 50 plus brokers now, almost 60 from our side. And in terms of the company size and what we do, we are not just a small company that's based, let's say, for an example, on these solutions only. We have approximately 700 plus of us in general that help you create your brokerage throughout. So it's not just a small team that's behind you, you have the whole company if you were to move forward with us as well. Okay. A little bit about the coverage on our side. So we support almost 170 countries globally in terms of launching your brokerage as well. So we're quite confident with the numbers on what we can bring forward for you guys. We've also had a few awards throughout the time. So if you can look on the right-hand side on the slide show there, of course, I won't go through every single one of them, but we are very well known in what we do in our sector. Okay. Now, just moving on from here as well. And by the way, guys, if there are any questions, please do put them in the chat directly. I will read them as soon as possible. If I've missed any questions, I'll always head back towards the end of the webinar to answer them as thoroughly as possible. Okay. Now, the biggest question that we perhaps maybe, or a frequent sort of question that we receive on a daily basis is how much can you earn through a business such as this? Now, we also like to give you some examples on what we can show you guys internally in that sense. Now, from our clients specifically, we had a few clients in general that selected various amounts of packages depending on their needs. And we can see through our just scale charges from what you can see in front of you is, for an example, on the left-hand side where you can see minus 50,000 is one of the packages that the client has selected, and the scalability throughout the whole 3 months. Okay. Now, within the third month, as you can see, they had scaled quite significantly, almost having or netting in this space over 270,000 from the beginning of their journey, essentially. Okay. Now, this is an average sort of like feedback from our side. So typically what we see through our clients, whether they're affiliates, entrepreneurs, or, they're looking for a new business model to scale into, in an average from our side, the period is on the payback side is 3 months. Okay. Is typically what we're looking into. Now, not only that, we help you as much as possible. So you will have a team behind you to scale your business as much as possible through outside. Okay, so a team of 5 or 6 individuals who are in business development to develop your business and see what works and what doesn't work, and any tips that they can give you throughout the whole journey. Saying that, of course, you are the business owner. You do get the ultimate say at the end of the day. We're just here to help you as much as possible. Okay. Some of the results, of course, on the right-hand side, as you can see, some of the comments, we'd like to take a few screenshots for you guys to see some evidence, I suppose, in this sense, that we are very supportive in what we do. Okay. Moving along in terms on how to obtain this, it's very, very simple from our side, so to speak. So we have sort of like the next steps and how long it takes us specifically to create your white label solution. So to speak, I mean, typically it can take us 14 to 20 days. We like to give a few days extra just to make sure that the product is suited to your needs as well. And the whole process starts off with yourself essentially approaching us, right? So how do you get started? So as soon as you approach us, you mentioned that you'd like to have a suitable solution to your needs, and then we can see how we can build your product throughout. Okay. Now, our product basically involves everything in-house. So meaning you don't need to shop around looking for third-party providers. And we'll just dive into that in just a second once we've been through this slide as well. Okay. So what do we need to do? So first of all, let's say everything's let's say you're very happy with the product itself, we can dive into signing the contract. So we can have a look into what you need, and then we have the due diligence side from our side. So any client that comes through our doors, we ensure that everything's done by the books and compliance in that side to ensure safety on your side as well. Okay. Once that's done, typically can take 2 to 3 days to process that through, sometimes a lot faster, depending on the workload. And once everything's signed, everything's good on both parties, we have a look into sort of like the domain names, countries that you'd like to operate from, logos, brand colors, that sort of thing as well. Okay, once we've established that, our legal team will be able to have a look into sort of like the website stuff for you as well, and all the branding to ensure that there are no, let's say, trademarks on our side. So number one rule, not so much of a rule, sort of like more of a tip, is don't go out there buying sort of like the domains as such straight away. If you have a domain, great, fantastic. We also do the checks to ensure that the domain is good in terms of the trademarks. However, leave that stuff to us, since our legal team will be able to check that for you as well to ensure any transparency, not only throughout the, let's say, the year, but the years to come as well. Okay. Once everything that is done on that side, typically we're looking into building your broker essentially. So any social media links, that sort of thing that can help us scale your business as well, is what we can add to the platform for you. And any sort of like integrations with Google Pay, app stores, Android stores, that sort of thing, we'll be able to do on the upcoming days as well. And then moving along, we have, sort of like the finishing touches, accepting all the details on that side. So essentially, you are looking at approximately building a whole product within 20 days to suit it to your needs. So we listen and we do, and we try to help you as much as possible in terms of the business itself. Anis, so hello there, I'm facing internet issues and could not join on time. Hope you share the recording to review. Absolutely, the screen is recorded for you, so you can always rewind back time and also have a look into, let's say, everything in case you've missed anything. But if you do have any questions, please feel free to put them into the public chat below. I'll be more than happy to answer. Okay, so typically, just to review this, you approach us, we have a look into what your suited needs are. We build your brokerage from scratch. Within 14 days, you have a product suited. We like to give an extra window for a few days for testing purposes and ensuring that you have everything that's needed from your side. Okay, excellent. Now, moving along. So how to bring the hype with bringing the code to you. Okay, essentially what we're doing here, like we mentioned on the previous slide, here we have what's involved with your brokerage itself. So remember the part when I mentioned that you don't need to go around and shop for third-party providers? Well, this is it, right? So we built everything in-house, okay? So all the way from the dealing room, billing, reporting for yourself and your clients, your own CRM system to be able to monitor these clients that are coming through your door as well. Liquidity, I mean, we have tier 1 liquidity providers that we've been working with for 13 plus years now, and we're very confident in doing so as well moving forward. Of course, the trading platform itself, that's a given. Any sort of like licensing that you need to move forward with as well, we support you with, so you can undergo under a license if you really need to, at no extra charge as well. So there are no hidden fees, essentially, is what I'm mentioning. What you see is what you get, okay? Any sort of client applications, for an example, if you're a trader that's trading on your mobile device, for instance, that you'd like to have a look into sort of like iOS or Android applications, we can also facilitate you with that as well. As long as on the long side, let's say, as well as communication. So for your clients, any incoming chats, incoming calls, we can deal with that as well. Okay, so essentially what we're saying is, from our side, is we can deal with everything. So all the headaches are put on us, essentially. Is not so much of a headache for us, it is our job to do so. For you guys would be more or less bringing the clients into your platform and ensuring that you're scaling your business in the correct manner. That's all. Okay, so you guys don't need to worry about the back end of what's happening, the front end in terms of development. Everything that has to do with the platform is on us. Now, again, you get the ultimate say in terms of setting your fees, commissions, and whatnot on your side. But we need to ensure that, of course, everything's transparent and to the books as well. Okay. It's a very competitive market, but also very rewarding at the same time. And just to cover a few more that you can see on your screen in terms of KYC, very important for your clients to ensure that the KYC procedures are done correctly. And we do that from our side. So we verify your client as soon as they walk through the door, ensuring that all the documents are correct as well. Okay. And alongside, sales modules, very important as well for you to have any sort of like custom triggers, for an example, any modern telephone tools, web tracking applications, that sort of thing. And as well, the security is a big part, which plays a little bit of part in terms of the KYC as well. Okay. Now, dealing alone, if you can imagine that you have for an example, a room full of guys who are monitoring the trades 24/7 is something that's also including from our side. If you were to third-party shop, essentially this product alone could cost you a lot of money, anywhere between 200 to 300,000, right? So this is where you're saving a lot of money to create a brokerage without even thinking about, let's say, the stuff in the background that is happening throughout. Okay. Guys, if there are any questions on this, I'll be happy to open the topic on anything that can bring life. If not, that means I'm doing an excellent job moving forward and everything's understood thoroughly. So I appreciate that as well. Just to move on from here as well, essentially what we have throughout the whole journey is your traders that need leverage trading. For an example, there are some traders out there that they like CFDs, they like cryptocurrencies, they need support 24/7. Anything to do in terms of the background knowledge itself, we have that in-house. So what does that mean for you? Essentially, to promote your product, right? So in order for you to be able to promote your product, you need to have products on board. And this is something that we facilitate our clients' needs in order to be able to achieve what their needs are. Okay, so if your client is trading currently on CFDs, for an example, well, we have over 150, well, actually almost even perhaps maybe the minimum package in general has 500 CFD plus, and then all the way down to up to 1,000 plus CFDs in general. So we are not limited. We're also adding new CFDs as we go along, the popular ones, of course, and any ones that we can add that make sense for both parties here as well. Okay. Same as cryptocurrencies, of course, they're very popular in the market as well. So if you're having a look into sort of like cryptocurrencies or indices, commodities, that sort of thing is also supported. Okay. Just to move along as well, perhaps maybe some of the clients in the past didn't have as much support, for an example, not with us specifically, but in general, right? So there are some traders out there that just prefer to have great support in order to be able to fulfill the needs. Now, this is something that we do. So we have 24/7 support for your guys. So whoever joins onto the platform, we support them throughout. Okay, so there's no, let's say, backlog in terms of a headache on your side that you need to contact a client at a certain time of day when you're busy, also scaling your business. Okay, so this is something that we do on our part in order for you to be able to focus on what needs to be focused on your side. Okay, which is bringing the clients into the platform. Okay. Now, again, we've touched base a little bit in terms of the web, Android, iOS, PWA, and desktop as well. Now, the progressive web application in general may sound very simple. And for those who don't know what it is, it's a very simple application that acts as a desktop application in general. So there are some countries that we've seen in general that for an example, a mobile device, such as this one, an Android, okay, this one is perhaps maybe a high-end model. However, what we have in some countries, some clients do not physically want to upgrade their mobile devices. So what do we do in this case? So first of all, the problem would be having a look into how you can download an application by saving space on your phone. So meaning if your heavy workload is already full on your phone, how do you download an application where you can't? Well, very simply, PWA does that for you. Okay, so it takes a lot less memory on your mobile device. It acts as an application in general, and you can also trade with it directly. Okay, so think of it as an application, however, more in a softer version that looks like an application that acts on the desktop side on your mobile device as well. Okay, so why I'm saying this in general is because you can actually target more of your clients that you thought that were not able to trade. Perhaps maybe have a list of clients already that are attracted to this. Okay. And from our experience, we had such cases as well. Okay, so I thought it's worth a shout to inform you guys of what PWA is and how it acts. Okay, excellent. So that's a little bit in terms of the affiliate side as well, on how you can also attract new traders. There's much, let's say, more in depth and detail what we can go through in general. However, we can always touch base at any time throughout the webinar, or also at the end of the slide, you'll have my QR code that you can scan and talk to me directly and schedule a call, or WhatsApp me as well. And just moving along, a little bit about bringing your own visual style. So this is very cool. In general, here at Quad Code, what we do, not everything, for an example, everything is built in-house, of course, but not everything needs to be the same, okay? So having a look into your own interface. So if you're a type of person, entrepreneur, affiliate, for an example, that would like to customize every single detail on the platform, for an example, like you can see on the screen on the video right now, you can have a look into the colors, the interface, and you'll feel a little bit more unique to your style. Okay, so we're not limited in terms of what we can do in terms of this. It's just down to your unique factors. Okay, any sort of logo on the platform as well. So any identity, for an example, across in the platform to build any instant trust from recognition side. So if you're advertising out there on different channels to attract new traders, your logo should be visible and your website will be able to represent that at the same time. So when a client logs into your platform, they'll see your logo, that it is your company that they're trading with as well. Alongside of that, we have also any sort of like trading tools in general. We know fundamental and technical analysis is super important that you can also add to the platform with your needs. So we have excellent charts and also indicators and features that you can add throughout. So we can also limit features if you wish. We can do that. So we're very flexible like that. So if you have a unique product that you would like to, let's say, represent to your clients, based on your style, your traders, and everything else, we can do that for you as well. Okay, excellent. Now, just moving along in terms of the side, so building your own brokerage is, let's say, for example, many years ago, to build a brokerage had been very expensive, okay? You're looking at thousands in terms of 100,000 plus, okay? Now, with Quad Code, what we have done is to move forward from that. We've tried to minimize the cost as much as possible based on what's offered on the table as well. And we'll talk a little bit about the competitors as what we do. But just a little bit about us, just from numbers side, simply you can start a brokerage from $25,000. But again, this may seem a little bit on the higher end on that side, in which I guess you can argue on the fact it is or it isn't. But something for you guys to have a look into is to have a look into what's offered for that amount of money. Now, there are some competitors out there that, yes, you can start, for an example, at 10,000, 15,000, 5,000, not sure on the numbers heavily on that side specifically. That's for your own research to do. However, not everything is offered in terms of the brokerage itself. So meaning, perhaps maybe CRM systems are not focused on there, or the dealing room like we've spoken about. Remember the chart that we went through a couple of slides ago where I mentioned this could cost you anywhere between 150,000 to 200,000. For an example, this is a very valid point for you to have a look into. Okay, in terms of sort of payment providers, we offer up to 190, almost 200 payment providers that's included with the package itself. Okay. Any liquidity, again, this could be an additional cost, same for KYC and infrastructure itself, okay? Now, another unique feature, what we had spoken about as well in the previous slides, are something that perhaps maybe some of the competitors are not able to do in terms of time and scalability, is being able to build a platform within 14 days from scratch to a launch side is something that we can do. And the payback time, typically what we have done in terms of the analysis, again, going back a couple of slides back, is 3 months on average to pay back your brokerage and start seeing earnings come through as well, okay? This is something that we can touch base on in terms of our competitors as well. I hope you can see my screen clearly on that side. this is perhaps maybe a little bit of an analysis that you can do yourself, but just for you to understand the differences, okay? Setup cost, like we mentioned, yes, it could cost anywhere between 5 to 10,000. From our side, yes, our minimum package does start from 25,000 US dollars. However, the difference is the packages itself, okay? So any mobile apps, perhaps maybe the competitors will have a look into, they charge monthly on a monthly basis based on the package itself, whether that's an Android app, could cost you 250 monthly or 500, for instance, on the iOS itself. We do have features on our side that's already included with that. So there are no additional cost or monthly cost on that side, specifically speaking. Okay, any monthly fees as well, you can have a look into at the same time. So our monthly fees can start from 6,500 per month. Whereas the other side, yes, it's slightly cheaper, but again, the additional extras are coming along the side where it involves the volume, CRM, PSP, liquidity, infrastructure, all the things that we have been through in general. Now, having a look into sort of like volume, there are some competitors out there that charge you per volume basis, whereas on our side, we do not. Same for CRM system, just having a CRM system to manage and run through. Some competitors out there can charge you anywhere between, for example, 500 to 2,000 per month. Where on our side, again, what I mentioned is what you see is what you get. There are no hidden fees from our side as well. Same from PSP providers. So having a look into sort of like the PSP providers on our side, we don't charge you for sort of any integrations on that side. On the uphand as well, we have liquidity, something that's very valid from our side. There are no setup fees for that as well, whereas some competitors can charge you for that. And the same goes along for infrastructure, anywhere between 1,500. Again, dealing room that we've spoken about, 16,000 per month. And just bear in mind as well, in terms of the dealing side, you'll need to be able to monitor your trades 24/7, whether that's the weekend, whether that's the weekday, okay? And the list goes on. So perhaps maybe some brokers are charging you for KYC, so $2 per verification, which we don't have that. So again, it may look good on paper in general. However, when you put two aside is for you to decide. Of course, there is a preference based on your preference, specifically speaking, but the numbers do not lie. The numbers are there, okay? We do have a couple of questions. Paul, for PSPs, separate onboarding is required. How does it work? So for us specifically, like I mentioned, we introduce you to our PSP providers in which you talk to thoroughly. So we don't make any commissions on this specifically. It's for you to decide on what works best for you. Okay, so we do the proper introductions for you in order for us to be able to move forward with your brokerage. So we want you to be happy as much as possible. February, sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. I hope I am. Do you have PAM, MAM, and copy trade system? This is something that's up and coming, perhaps maybe in the future that we can have a look into. In terms of copy trading, there's something there for you. If you just hold on in terms of the slide, we can go through that as well. Okay. Excellent. So I'm just moving along in terms of the slide itself. So again, a few feedback from a little bit of feedback from our clients as well. But again, we're having a look into straight from our clients, traders, a little bit about what they're saying and how successful it was for them essentially here as well. So some of the feedback is effortless onboarding, effortless trading, keep coming back to actually trade on the platform itself. The bonuses that are receiving are quite good for them, and much, much more as well. And Paul, do you offer prop trading tools? Not at the minute. Again, this will be something that will be described in the future. Now, I can't pinpoint a timeline specifically, so to speak. However, there is something that's happening in the background in terms of prop trading in general as well. I do feel like it's very popular, and the team is already discussing about extending perhaps maybe one of these features onto the platform as we speak. However, for us, it is slightly different since we're not the same as some of the competitors out there. So everything has to be built from scratch. So the team's working very, very hard on doing so. I hope that answers that question. And yeah, just a little bit about in general in terms of what we do in the background as well. So we calculate your potential earnings, adjusting the numbers, ensuring that all the traders see your profit and how your business is growing in general. Okay. We also have a brokerage launch checklist to ensure that everything's done correctly to your needs as well. Any sort of blogs in general, so news, strategies, upcoming events, that sort of thing is something to keep in mind of what we do as well. And in terms of the marketing guide, we help you as much as possible to start and launch your broker. Okay. A one-page business plan, starting your brokerage from zero, is all that's needed as well, that we can support you as much as possible to help you understand the whole process throughout. Okay. And in general, for us, we like to keep it as simple as possible. Okay. So business doesn't get any simpler. And why is that? Very simply, if you guys need a demo, for instance, we can provide you a demo for you to have a look into what the platform looks like, how it acts, and all the rest. Okay. Customizing your platform, we've been through that, so we are sure we are unable to do that as well. And simply, all you have to do, if you're happy with all the rest, is signing the contract and moving forward with your brokerage. And the timeline, again, just to revert back to the previous slides, is approximately 14 to 20 days in order for us to be able to achieve this as well. Okay. And this is sort of coming to the end of our presentation, our webinar here today. However, if you do have any questions, please feel free to scan the QR code. This should lead you to my number directly on WhatsApp or Telegram, for an example, that you can reach out to me and ask me any questions. Unless you have any questions and you're here with us today, I'll be more than happy to answer as well. But I hope you have enjoyed the presentation, enjoyed this webinar, and I hope to catch you on the next one as well. But just before we close, I will answer as many questions as possible. I can see, Paul, you've sent us a question here as well. So do I need a brokerage license for the onboarding procedure with you? No, you don't need a brokerage license. So you can act up under our license that will support you with. Now, that can be, for example, depending on the geographical location that you're thinking of launching in. If you have any sort of guidance on that, be able to answer further questions. But no, you don't need a brokerage license. This is something that we support you throughout. So just to make it very clear from our side, we support you through the licensing, the onboarding procedure, everything to do with a brokerage in general. So your main not worry in this sense, perhaps maybe it's incorrect wording there. Your main mission, let's put it in this way, in this perspective, would be just to find the clients and onboard them to your platform, and let us handle the rest. February, can you add other trading platform like MT5? Unfortunately, at this time, not. Perhaps maybe in the future, we will be having a look into this. However, our platform is unique since it's in-house built as such. So MT5, yes, I understand that it is very popular, and you're very correct on that side. This is why we're looking into it. However, since our clients launched from 2024, we've built over 50 brokerages in general, and our clients are happy with the new super sort of like model on how it looks in terms of aesthetically pleasing to the eye, not only for new traders, but also for all the traders that want something a little bit more simplistic that does the exact same thing. So the answer is, I guess, perhaps maybe a little bit vague on that side, but it does come down to preference. Now, if you'd like, I can send you a demo of the account in general for you to have a look into and for you to examine and see if that's for you. Do you support stock brokerage? We do have stocks on the platform itself, but they are under CFD, so contract for difference. So it undermines the lying assets itself. So you're trading with the market movement, so to speak. So you don't physically own the stock. Maybe, again, this is something that we can scale up in the future as Quadcode, as a business. But as it stands as of this time right now, CFDs is what we're focusing on moving forward. I'll allow a couple more minutes, perhaps maybe if there are any further questions, please feel free to send them directly into the chat. Max leverage, very good question. So in terms of any max leverages, again, this will depend on the geographical regions that you're planning on launching. Typically, it can be anywhere between 1 to 500, 1 to 1,000, 1 to 1,500, for instance. So we need to know the ins and outs of where you're planning to launch so we can make an coordinate calculation with the team to inform you of what can be done there. Again, everything is done by the books, so we can't cheat the system. Everything is done predominantly to help your business as much as possible. Okay, so we're looking for a long-term business partnership with anyone that we do business with, so we're here to help as much as possible. Number of users included. Do you mind explaining a little bit further in terms of the numbers of users? Do you mean on how many users you can have on your platform? Trading accounts, very well. So as much as possible, the more the merrier in this case. Herbert, how do we train potential customers, newbies, to trade profitable? Very good question. Now, you can have, for example, many different classes that you can set up yourself, or our support team will be able to answer a few questions on that side if your clients are struggling to understand some certain tools, instruments, that sort of thing as well. But at the same time, these sort of like webinars that we conduct, we help your traders to understand on what's happening in the world in general. So any sort of webinars that you can have, for example, moving forward to help you. Sorry, just bear with me a second here. There we go. Yeah, so any sort of like training material in general is very good. You can also provide them, for example, a simple PDF, or for example, conduct a webinar once a week, once a month to help these potential customers to trade profitable, right? So it's always potential, right, in that sense, but it can be done through Telegram accounts, Instagram accounts, anything to do in general, anything that you can help them with, and we'll be able to help you as much as possible to come up with ideas for that. So don't feel limited. Any news is good news in this sense. Harion, are you only providing binary platform? Not necessarily. So we also have, like I mentioned previously, contract for difference. So this will enable you to trade not only binary options and blitz options and all the rest. However, you'll be able to also trade on CFDs as well. So contract for difference. Okay, guys. I believe, I hope that I've answered all the questions in the chat. If not, please feel free to scan the QR code. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to help. I hope you have enjoyed the webinar, and on to the next one. I hope you subscribe to the next one as well. And moving along, again, any questions, feel free to contact me directly, and we can start business together as soon as possible. Thank you, guys. Have a great day and speak to you soon. Take care. Ciao, ciao.